Hey y'all, I'm Drew Baldridge and you're listening to Like a Farmer.
Hey y'all, it's Pat. Welcome to another episode of Like a Farmer. We are still here, beautiful city of Tampa, Florida, Country Thunder, but today, Mr. Drew Baldridge has joined the show. Catch me on Wednesday on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Drew,
how you doing,
like
brother?
that intro, man?
That was solid.
He's got to just hit it.
Yeah, dude, just getting in it.
Appreciate you coming on the show.
Dude, thanks for having me. Like I said, sorry, we about to run a 5K here, so I got my running clothes on right now.
There's been a lot of cool things happening in this Tampa area. You got Country Thunder, you got Bert's 5K going on. I've got a great team behind me, okay? And I was doing my due diligence on Drew Baldridge this morning. Tell me what this means, okay? The first self-funded country musician to get a number one. What exactly does that mean?
So,
because it sounds badass just right off the
man,
bat.
that's what we like to say we are.
Yeah.
No, man, so we have this song called She's Somebody's Daughter. And
which is a banger.
Man, thank you so much. And in 2019, from 2016 to 2019, I had a record deal in Nashville. I had that came with a manager and a booking agent, all that stuff. Well, 2019 came and the label I was with decided to shut down. And I had, in that period, 4 failed singles at country radio. And it was kind of got to the point of, what do I do? How do I continue to go on? At this point, I've been in Nashville for almost 10 years and nothing left to show for it because everybody kind of gave up, which I don't blame them. It was like 4 failed singles. But then me and my wife, we got married in 2021 and she danced to this song, She's Somebody's Daughter.
The Cannons, baby.
Hey, bub.
Tampa, Florida.
They knew the podcast was going on. They wanted to light it up.
Go ahead, sorry.
So no, man, we got married in 21. She danced to this song with her dad that I wrote for them called She's Somebody's Daughter. And mind you, I was independent. I didn't have anything. I posted this song on social media and just said, hey, if you guys like this song, I'll put it out. And we woke up the next morning, had almost 10 million views on it. And
jeez, and what year was this?
This was 21.
Okay. Right at that almost 10-year mark.
Yeah, right at, because I moved to town in 2011. And man, mind you, the only way I was playing shows at this moment was people's backyards. Like, I didn't have any booking agent. I was posting on social media. I was going around the country, just me and the guitar, playing people's backyards and just trying to still go, And this song went majorly viral, and I thought, man, every record label would be calling. And nobody really did. No, nobody did, because it would get, like, Nashville would be like, we know Drew. Yeah. He's been here for 10 years. It didn't work. It failed. And I don't blame him. Like I said, I wouldn't, in that moment, if it was outsider, I'd be like, why should I trust this guy to have a hit for us? Yeah. So in about 2023, I got to the point where the song was doing so much, it was so viral, that I said, okay, well, screw it. I'm just going to create my whole own record label. So I hired my whole staff, went out, hired my own team, and I sent She's Somebody's Daughter to radio alone and just hired my own team and said, hey, this is my only chance. Screw it. This is it. I'm going to put all the money I was making off She's Somebody's Daughter, because it was streaming a lot, and I'm just going to dump it back in. So I just invested in the label, hired it all out myself, and everybody said, you're crazy. This can't work. It's never been done before. And I was like, well, I ain't got nothing left except this, but I know this song's special and I'm going to chase it. And so, dude, I just did it myself. It took me a whole year, and we took it all the way to number 1 with my own little label team.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, self-funded through everybody streaming the song. I just would put that back into the label, and we had our first independent number 1. It was pretty wild, man.
Now, educate me on this. Do you see like a trend maybe going to continue to do that type of direction of being self-funded and having control of your own destiny?
I think us doing this was such a monumental shift in Nashville.
Yeah.
And it changed the game for a lot of artists, because now, just last week, Low Cash had a 2-week number 1 at country radio with their own label also. And so I know Chris Jansen just started his own thing. And I think it's going to become a point where we're going to see more partnerships with labels. Like, even myself now, I'm partnering with a record label called BMG, but I get to keep my, more than what I would have. Yeah. Because let's just break it down. I mean, 10 years ago when I signed my first record deal, just being honest, you get 16, they call it points, right? So they get 84, label gets 84%. Yep. You get 16. Yep. And then of your 16, you have to give 4 points to your producer. Yeah. So you have 12. Right? So this is how the business all used to work, and it's changed a lot. But I would have 12 points, right? And let's say they would put $100,000 into a record, into a record for you. Well, you would have to pay back $100,000 at 12% before you started making your 12%. Because they would make the 84% off the top, but you only own 12% and you'd have to pay that back. Dude, crazy business model, right?
Yeah.
And so that is all starting to really, really change in Nashville. I think, us doing this, but also independent artists just having so much success. Somebody like Jelly, somebody like Cody Johnson, that just really did a lot of it on their own.
Yeah.
And then they can come in and say, hey, let's partner. You guys have what I need, I have what you need. Let's become real partners. Let's figure out a way to work together. And so that's what I think us doing this has been such a big monumental thing, but it also, labels used to own radio. There was no way to get played on the radio unless you were on a record label. And now radio is just like, we just want to play the best songs.
Yeah.
Hey, we saw what Drew did. There's been a couple other people in the past, like Garth has done this, Tracy Lawrence has done a little bit of this too. And it's like, hey, now our other artists are seeing this and they're like, hey, let's just hire our own people.
Yeah.
It worked for Drew, let's try it. And so that's been really cool, but also just to see other independent artists out there, like, you can do whatever the freak you want right now.
Yep.
There's
especially
no reason.
with social media and all the tools you have with that too.
There's no reason why you can't chase it down and be a great artist and not give up in this where we're at in life. It's like, hey, if you got a song and you got a story to tell and something that's going to hit somebody's heart, you can get it out in today's world that we couldn't do it 10 years ago.
That's unbelievable. I'm excited to talk about a little bit kind of how you got into country music, but first, I play a game on this show, okay?
All right, brother.
This game's called Cut the Tension,
Cut the
presented
Tension.
by Case Knives.
All right,
And right here, I got you a brand new Case knife.
Oh, man. Thank you
Dude.
so much, dude. That's super
Check that
kind
out.
of you.
Look at that.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Like a farmer right there.
You like that? All right,
I like
so
it.
this is a fan question, okay?
Okay.
Now, if we were to go through your recently played list that you listen to, music-wise, what is something that would surprise everybody?
Oh, man. Recently played. I'm trying to think. I love, like, big band music, so like Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Ooh.
and like Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Some of that music back in the day that was like horn kind of driven and like big energy. I think people would be really surprised when they go through and they see September. Do you remember? I mean, you can't listen to that and not be happy.
No, you can't. It's like an epic wedding song, too.
It is, bro. It's so good. So good.
What would you say in any genre, like if you had to say your Mount Rushmore of just music,
Oh,
who
man.
you putting up there?
A Mount Rushmore of music, any genre.
Yeah. So you can throw anybody up there.
Goodness gracious. I think there's a lot of artists that we could say did a lot for people's format. Like Elvis obviously did so much for music, being like making rock and roll what it is. But if I was just to sit back and say for me, my Mount Rushmore that made me an artist, which is probably not what a lot of people would think. Josh Turner was one of my favorite artists growing up. I loved how he always put faith in his country music, which was a big deal for me. Craig Morgan was somebody else that I just really loved. I think of like International Harvester. I went to his concert, was one of my first concerts that I went to, so that really holds a lot of weight. And Brooks and Dunn, man, like
Just unbelievable.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
man. Like I think of Red Dirt Road, that was one of the songs that was like made me realize country music's life.
Yeah. That's cool to see. And I think you're starting to get some of that come back too. Now the game is changing, as we all know. You've got people from other genres coming into country music. You have people switching up their tone to, maybe relate to a certain type of audience. But there's some of that old school country coming back into the game as well.
It is, man, and that makes me excited because I think if they dive into my music, they'd see that I love storytelling and I love.
Which that's what it's all about.
It is, man, and it's wild that like you said, all different people are coming to the country space because people are loving country music right now more than ever. It's it's cool again or whatever you want to call it.
Correct.
But it should be exciting for all of us artists to know more ears are on our music than ever. More people are listening to stories. More people are listening to small town life, to tractor life, to farm life, to Western life. And it's
what we were
almost,
talking about before we turned on the cameras is that lifestyle is cool again.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because there's almost like genres inside our genre. Like there's Western country. You think of like Ian Munsick and Cody Johnson and a handful of others, and then you have somebody like Dan and Shay on their own space over here that's more pop country, and they're selling thousands of tickets.
And then you got the rock and roll.
Then you got Brantley Gilbert and Hardy,
yeah,
and Co-Wetzel, and it's like, and then you have just right down the like country Zach Top, and then you have like this other subgenre of like folk country like San Barber and Wyatt Flores, and it kind of all just says your country.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
It's cool to see.
Yeah.
I tell you what's something refreshing too is somebody's on the show that actually comes from a farming background. You talk about, I think population of this guy's town, I want to say was like around 500.
That's right.
I mean, tell me how that was growing up.
Man, it's funny because that's all we knew. It was like, I remember telling people like we would go to our cafeteria and we'd be having lunch with the kindergartners on the other side. Like we'd be on one side because I only graduated 22 kids, all one school, K through 12.
Now, what did you rank out of those 22?
Number 1, brother.
Did you?
Yeah, let's go.
You're
talking to valedictorian, Patoka High School.
Oh, okay.
Nah, man. I don't tell anybody. I always say, I was valedictorian, but I don't tell people of how many.
Gotcha.
But no, we only had 22 in our class, but it was all we knew. It was everybody there did either you worked on the pipeline or you had some ties to farming in your family, and it was just the best way to grow up. And I remember moving to Nashville and starting to meet people, and people would be like, dude, I'm from such a small town. They'd be like, I only had 500 kids in my class, and I'd be like, bro, that's my town.
Dude, that's my
freaking town.
$4.99 now.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a great way to grow up. I mean, I learned to drive on a tractor. I remember my brother, kind of putting me in there and just saying, hey, don't leave till all the bales are picked up. Just drive. You'll figure it out. You're in a field, just figure it out.
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think there's so much ties. I always tell so many people this, to farming and music and the way that I've had to build my career.
Correct.
And we were on a family farm. It's been in the family for 100 years, not as long as yours.
Yeah.
But it's like, we didn't have anything nice, man. We were driving white tractors, we're driving old Massey's, like whatever could just get the job done, but crap breaks down every freaking year.
Yeah.
Like half the time I'd be like, Grandpa, we're fixing stuff more than we're in the field most
more
of the
than
time.
we're harvesting
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And so I just take that so much because my grandpa would just always keep it going.
Yeah.
No matter what broke down, we found a way. We figured it out. And that's kind of how my career's been. I've been in Nashville for almost 14 years, and I've had lots of breakdowns. And just have to pick yourself up by your boots, and just say, hey.
Bootstrap it. And I truly believe the experiences that you learn on the farm help you in whatever you're doing today. I told you, Josh has been on the show, and Josh is like, man, there's nothing harder than working on the farm, and I use that skill set on the football field.
There's nothing harder.
Yeah.
I mean, being up in a freaking loft,
and
it's 100 degrees outside, and that loft's 120, and you're throwing hay bales for 3 hours.
That's exactly. He said moving pipe. Exactly what he said. Yeah.
You're just freaking. It's the hardest thing on the planet. So I just think a lot of people that I see that have grown up and had the back story of a farm life, they all have this hard work ingrained in them. And for me, I just had to do it. There wasn't like, man, you're gonna get paid. Like it was just like, hey, Grandpa needs you. Wake up 7 o'clock during the summer. It's like, hey, your grandpa needs you, go to the farm. You're like, oh gosh, I got to go to the farm. But now I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
And do that again.
Now tell me, because you mentioned when you went to Nashville, like at what point were you like, okay, I got to go to Nashville? I mean, were you singing this whole time growing up? Or was it just like all of a sudden like, hey, maybe I can sing?
Yeah, I mean, I always loved singing and entertaining, but I love sports. I was going to go to college and play baseball, and our school was so small, we didn't have a music program. So it was
Were you just like the stud in athletes in school because you only had 10 people to compete
Exactly.
against?
It's like your freshman year, you're starting varsity. Because it's like, dude, we only got 8 people to make the team. So you're just in, So it was just like, we didn't have a music program. But I took piano lessons in kindergarten until about 3rd grade, and I was like, Mom, this is a girl instrument. Like, piano's not cool. But then I picked up a guitar at 16 because my buddy in high school played it. And so we started playing around bonfires and parties. And then about 17, we started playing in local bars. And it got to the point where the bars we were playing in, like, we couldn't fit any people more in. It'd just be me and him on stools, just playing covers for 4 hours.
Jamming,
having fun, man. People would come up and say, big green tractor, like whatever. And you'd just play it. You'd pull up, at that time we all had flip phones. We tried to learn it and play it live in front of people. And so about 17 or 18, I knew I got the real bug to be like, hey, I think I can do this. Like, people are liking what we're doing. So then I just turned down all our scholarships of baseball and moved to Nashville at 19 to chase this, man, of being in writing songs and being in front of people, playing music and being an entertainer.
Now, when you go to Nashville, do you go the Broadway route, or are you just finding songwriters around town?
So I played on Broadway for almost 2 years. I played at Tootsie's, yeah.
Nice.
Tootsie's and Rippies, and then they had Honky Tonk Central a few years after that. But I was 19, so I couldn't play the late shows.
Yeah.
You know, I could only play 6 to 10 was as late as they'd let me go. Or I'd play at Rippies from like 2 to 6 acoustic. But yeah, I started down there, but always going out and meeting people, songwriters nights. Because at that time, you got to think, there was no For You page. That's why I always try to tell these new kids of like, there's no discoverable tool when we moved to Nashville. The only way to do it was go out and play hundreds of shows a year.
For people to see you.
For people to see.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I'm playing this little town in Kentucky. Well, I hope I go back in 3 months and there's double people.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go back and hopefully they double people. So it was just touring was the only way. And then when you got there, you're like, please follow me on Facebook. Because then that's the only way they could find you is if they followed you.
Yeah.
You know, there was no like, oh, this just popped up on my page. I got to follow that person.
Yeah.
It's like, that didn't exist.
And then, boom, COVID happens.
Yeah.
But before we get to COVID, I want to play another game, okay?
All right, I got you.
Now, this game is called Give 'em the Boot, presented by TECOVAS.
Oh,
These
wow.
TECOVAS are yours.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, but
well, I'm glad I did this podcast. Come on.
To get them, you got
gotta
4
handle.
questions in
Okay.
here, all right, Drew?
All right.
Now, you can give one of the questions the
Those are
boot.
nice.
If you give one of the questions the boot, that means you got to answer the rest of them. Now,
Okay.
you don't have to give them the boot.
If I give them the boot, I only get one boot? You only
That's
give
correct,
them-
yeah. But you don't have to give any one of them the boot. Question
Okay.
number 1, give them the boot.
Here we go. What is the best fan moment you have ever had? We have a song out right now called Tough People, and it's our single at country radio. And
Doing well?
It is, yeah. It's top 15 right now, which is super exciting. And I wrote this song when I was going through a really tough time of starting my own record label. It became like my fight song, to not give up. It talks about a 4-year-old fighting cancer and overcoming. I mean, it's just all real life stuff. I mean, the whole song is just very real about where we're at in America. It talks about school shootings. I mean, it talks about a lot of stuff. It gets very real. But I got a message from a doctor, a little girl named Baker, and he sent me a video. She was 4 years old, diagnosed with cancer in St. Jude, and she's singing every word at the top of her lungs to Tough People about how she's 4 years old when she got the news. It was in her little lungs. It was stage 2. And I'm watching this and just crying, man. Just like crying my eyes out. And then the doctor sends it and says, this is her fight song. She sings it every day she's in treatment. And so we reached out to that family and we started a Tough People fund around them. And we've raised over $10,000 for her, Baker, and her mom, Nina, because Nina had to quit her job to start.
Is it still going on?
So we just got done with Baker, and now this has started we just reached out to a new family, and we're going to continue to build every couple months, find a new family that needs help that we can rally around as a community, build this Tough People fund up. And I just think this is really cool that we can help people out like this.
We're in, so make sure after this we'll get that. We definitely want to do a donation on that.
Oh,
That's
man,
awesome.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
That's incredible.
Oh, I got to do another one, don't
Question number 2.
All right, here we go. Starting to sweat. It's getting hot out here. What is one thing people don't know about you? Man, one thing that people don't know about me. One of my favorite smells is gasoline. I love the smell of gas. I mean, do you like the smell of gas?
How can you not?
How can you not like the smell of gas? Come on.
That's a great one.
That's a great one, right?
Drew's just pulling up to the racetrack, just get a little sniff.
A little sniff, man. Little sniff and run. What is your favorite song to cover? Man, we do a lot of fun covers in our set, and for the last couple of years we've done this this mashup that's really fun, and you're gonna make fun of me for this, but it's awesome when we're doing it. So it's Honky Tonk Badonka Donk.
Ooh, okay.
And it goes in, Honky Tonk Badonka Donk. It's about big booties. You know?
Yeah.
So we go into I like big butts and I cannot lie, and it is like the best mashup anybody could ever do.
And the band's just playing it?
Oh,
too?
dude, yeah, we play it all.
Okay,
Yeah, if you're around it, we're
You'll
gonna play it
play it
tonight.
okay,
yeah. Honky Tonk Badonka Donk into I like big butts.
God, that's a great one.
All right, let's see.
Last one.
Who in country music has helped you the most? I've been out on tour with Cody Johnson January and February, and it was my first ever arena
Of this
tour.
year.
Yeah.
Oh, how was that?
And that was super awesome, man. And, you know, for him, I mean, I can't sit here and say that me and Cody are best friends.
Yeah.
The first time I met him pretty much was when I found out we were going on tour. And, but him allowing me to be in front of 12,000, 15,000, 18,000 people a night, that's the biggest tour I've ever been on. And I got to, you know, in Nashville, there's a place called Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah.
And
you got to play it.
I got to play it because of Cody, you know. And so being on that stage that night, my manager there and thinking, man, we would never be here without first taking a chance on ourselves, starting our own record label, sending daughter to radio, but without Cody. You know, like I used to play, it took me 13 years to get on the stage, but I used to play across the street at Tootsie's and Rippy's, and I would be the open, like 5 o'clock, they would all come in there, and I'd play music to get them pumped up to go to Bridgestone.
Yeah.
And now I got to be one of the main acts on Bridgestone.
Yeah.
And so I owe Cody Johnson that. So that's pretty big deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me how that works, because I really don't know. Like, is it Cody, you know, Luke, whoever, and they're picking who's going to come on tour with them? Is that something they just...
There's a lot.
Or fans, and they're like, I want him, or...
There's a lot, you know. There's like promoters that put the tours on that, like, hey, we really think this is a great package together. Like, that's kind of how we got on Cody, is Cody's promoter was like really a big fan of ours and was like, hey, guys, just like, trust me, Drew and your music would just fit really well together. And it did. Like, Cody's team was very nice to us. Obviously, at first, they were like, hey, we're just go out here and prove to us that you got this, you know? And so I felt like I really had to earn like respect.
Yeah.
And show them, hey, we've been doing this for a long time too. And so now his whole crew has been very nice to me, but, you know, the promoter really took a chance on me. But, you know, even when I go out and do my own tour, I have buddies out, you know, hey dude, like, you want to come out with us? So yeah, I think there's lots of ways. Managers are always like working something with another manager because they had this artist on this.
Yeah.
So there's so many different ways how that plays out.
That's awesome. Maybe, you know, when you're doing a headline, you can call me and I'll open up for you.
There you go. Come on, bring your guitar.
Yeah. All right, so back to it. 2020, COVID happens.
Yep.
And you mean growing up on a farm, you just know you got to bootstrap it, you got to figure it out. How did that, like, what goes through your mind immediately when you know you're not playing?
Man, well,
at least live at that time.
Yeah, well, I just lost a record deal too, and a manager and a booking agent. I lost it all, you know, in that period. And so I didn't really know what to do. And so this is when I had the idea, as the last Hurrah, just to post on socials and just say, hey, I'll play in anybody's backyard that'll have me.
In Nashville?
In the country. I was like, look, I know shows aren't going on, but I will come to your farm. I will come to your field, whatever, and I will set up we'll come up with a system to play social distancing.
Did you get some good luck on that? I mean,
dude, we ended up getting 20-some thousand requests.
Jeez.
And so from 2020 to 2024, I played over 400 people's backyards, just me and a guitar. I just went all around the country, and I just did as many as I could.
The backyard tour.
The backyard, yeah. It was called Baldridge and Bonfires. And so I remember the first one I played, it was kind of social distancing. It was a big farm. They had like 10 fires throughout the field, and I was on this truck, the bed of this old truck. And I remember thinking, this is stupid. It was October. It was in Illinois. It was like 30 degrees outside. Everybody had these fires, and I'm like, I'm up here on this truck freezing, bro. This is not a great idea of a tour, you know? So it was just, I learned so much on that tour of just like, at the end of the day, I learned I ain't making music for Nashville, you know? And as much as I love being on country radio and Spotify and all that stuff, I ain't making music for that either. I'm making music for people. You know, I was in their yards. I saw what our music was, how it was connecting with them. I really found my why in COVID, of like why I'm doing this. And it's not about accolades. It's about reaching people's souls and touching people's hearts and making them feel joy, making them forget about what's going on in their life, making them, you know, cry at the thought of their daughter, or be uplifted by something like Tough People to know they can get through fights. And I just think that for me, I really needed to go through that. And it was the best tour. I think one of the best things I ever done, because I had dinner with these people every night.
Yeah.
You know, we'd play cornhole. I was gaining a bunch of weight. I was eating great barbecue. You know, every place would be like, hey man, you want some pulled pork?
There were no 5Ks going on.
There was definitely no freaking 5Ks going on. So yeah, that was, during COVID and all that, that was pretty much my bounce back, and my why was was playing for people's backyards.
Now, you're a big storyteller, which I love about you. Now, the music that you're putting out, are you majority, co-writer at least on all of it? And
Yeah.
are you doing more writing right now for other people, or how's that working, like, currently today?
Yeah, so, there was a stint there after COVID, and I was just playing people's backyards that I thought I was just going to be a writer.
Yeah.
I just started writing songs, and I got a cut on Chase Matthews. I got a cut on Low Cash. I got a song recorded by Bailey Zimmerman. And then I wrote Tough People, and then Luke Combs actually recorded it, the song that's my single right now. And I remember calling him and asking for it back when Daughter went top 10. And I was like, hey, bro, I really want to take a chance on myself with this song. And
he's just like, now how does that work? Would some people say, no, man, this is mine now?
Yeah, totally.
He could have easily done that.
He could have,
And he gave it back to you.
It was very nice. I was just like,
That's
dude,
awesome.
if you 100% want this and this is yours and you're in, great. If not, the second single is so hard to get played on country radio. Like, I would love a chance at this. And he hit me right back, sent me the voice message. I probably still got it in my phone somewhere, and was just like, dude, you wrote this, you should have it. It's your song. Like, yes, I love it, but I can't. It's going to be a while before I'd be able to put it out. And he gave it right back to me. And I remember getting that message and being like, man, I just probably made the stupidest decision of my life right there, taking a song from Luke Combs. But I got here by betting on
Because if he would have
myself.
taken it and it goes, you still get, you're still a writer on it.
You're still the writer.
Paid.
You still get paid every time it plays on the radio, and if any license deals and all that. But for me, it was more about, I just didn't want to be a writer, man. I wanted to do this. I wanted to be on Country Thunder.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in front of people. I wanted my songs to mean something.
You wanted to be on podcast, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All those things. I didn't want to just be like, and don't get me wrong, if my path takes me down the writer's way, that's great too. I'd be very blessed to just be in music. But for me, my most enjoyment is when I'm on stage and I get to sing songs for people and watch their days being made.
That's unbelievable. What's been another, hell yeah moment for you since you've moved to Nashville? Obviously She's Somebody's Daughter, Tough People. Have you ever had any, man, I made the right decision moments?
Yeah, I think, I moved to Nashville in 2011, and 5 years later, I got to make my Grand Ole Opry debut. And that was,
unbelievable.
A special moment. And
Played it since?
Yeah, we've played it 30-some times now, which has been crazy. And I remember the first time I played the Opry, I told you one of my favorite artists was Josh Turner.
Yeah.
And I remember coming out on stage telling everybody, big reason why I'm here is because of Josh Turner. I love his music, and I wanted to dedicate. I sang Your Man, baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low. And I get halfway through it, and Josh Turner comes out on stage and surprises me. And I about fall over. I forget all the words and crap. I don't even know. I think I even say on the mic, when he's like, I just stopped singing pretty much. And he's like, take it, Drew. And I'm like, I don't even know the words anymore. Because it was just such a cool moment, because I was playing the Opry for the first time, which is already so nerve-wracking. You're just all your dreams coming together at once, and then here's one of your childhood musical heroes coming out and singing with you and surprising you, making you feel welcome to the community of Nashville. So that was a big moment.
That's unbelievable. Now, today, you've got some new music coming out.
Yeah.
New album, new tour. What else do you have project-wise?
Yeah, so we're working on a brand new album right now. Obviously, Tough People, we're really fighting hard to get this thing number one again. That would be a blessing. We're really fighting hard to get top 10. I think it's got up so far up to close to number 11. And so we're really fighting that. But this summer, we got brand new music coming out. I've kind of taken April off to just record and write, and we recorded 12 songs in April and really wrote a lot. And so we should have some of that stuff done, and hopefully at the start of 2026, have some sort of a project. If that's a full-length album, if that's 5, 6 songs, 8 songs, 10 songs, whatever. But we're going to be putting music out leading up to it. So I'm very excited about that. And so that's fun. Then I'm hitting the road with Cody again in September, and I think we have some plan to do some overseas touring at the end of the year. So
who's been some of your favorite tours so far? Outside of Cody, obviously.
Yeah. My very first tour I ever did with anybody was Granger Smith, and that was in 2016.
Yeah.
And it was my first ever being out with an artist for 30 days. And I just learned a lot from Granger on how to treat people and how to treat your guys and your openers. And that was a monumental tour for me because it was my first. It's something I'll never forget. And it's crazy to think that was 9 years ago. But he was always really good to me. I always really, really looked up to him in a big way. still to this day, I really look up to him and what he stands for and how he's, what he's overcome and what he does with his career now.
I think it's really cool, especially tough people. You're somebody's daughter, like that type of stuff, that it's a storytelling. Do you have any more like stories that you feel like you haven't told yet of life experiences that you feel like you want to put into music?
Yeah, we got a lot that are about to come out, the whole thing that we base our brand off of is farm, faith, and family.
I was just about to say,
and
farm, faith, and family.
Yeah, man. And I wrote that song, and I was like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for, is farm, faith, and family. And so all the songs on this project, if you took a big whiteboard and you wrote to the top of it, farm, faith, and family, pretty much every line is going to go to one song. So we're going to have like some farm songs. We're going to have faith songs. We're going to have family songs. I got a wife and a little boy that's 2, and I got a song on this record that's called Let 'Em, and it's all talking about, let your kids be kids, man. They're only kids for so long, and really talking about family. And I got some faith songs that are going to come out that I'm very, very excited about. That's, close to some of my favorite, when I think of country faith songs like I Believe and What I Love About Sunday, I Saw God Today, and like, dude, those are some of the best. Like,
What I Love
songs.
About Sunday, are you kidding?
Oh, man. And so when I'm talking to faith, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be like hallelujah, praise, worship songs, but it's going to be some of that.
Faith-based. And
faith-based, yeah.
You see a lot of country music getting into that faith right now.
Yes.
I mean, Jelly Roll's been doing some of it. Connor Smith and
Dylan. Yeah.
Country in the Clouds. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I mean, I love seeing that kind of faith get into this
it's really awesome. And, my little record label that we sent She's Somebody's Daughter to radio with, it's called Lyric Ridge. And Lyric's my son's name, and Baldridge, obviously, Ridge. So Lyric Ridge, is really cool. We're actually the record label that is working Jelly Roll and Brandon Lake to country radio with Hard Fought Hallelujah. And so for us, it's really exciting to bring a little faith, that we are the team that is going out and fighting to get this song played on country radio. Because I think, man, if other people can cross over genres, why can't Brandon Lake, man? I just think there's a real spot on country radio for some faith-based country music.
This is good, and we talked a little bit before off the camera. It's like, hey, Drew, this is why Josh and I wanted to start this show. I feel like this lifestyle is getting more popular, and it's, driving trucks and being outdoors and family and faith and farming and all of this, because it's getting so popular, and you agreed with that. Why do you think it is now getting so popular and everybody wanting to get into it and, maybe look out their skyscraper in the city and see that open field and like, damn, that actually kind of looks cool. I want to get into that.
Yeah, I remember growing up, and I remember just thinking like, our town was so small. I only had 5 girls in my senior class. Like, one was my cousin. I mean, it was just like, it was slim pickings. Man, So we would go to these other towns which weren't big, but at that time we thought they were big, and they're like, oh man.
So who do you go to the prom with if there's only 5 girls? Just out of curiosity.
I had to go to other towns, surrounding towns, and I would always be like, why would they pick us? And we were always viewed as like the country bumpkins. We were always like, oh man, here comes these people that talk a little. Here comes these people that are a little different. It's a little
here
slower.
Comes Drew and his pickup. What were you driving back then?
I was driving a F-150, Ford Lariat, baby. I mowed a lot of grass and slung a lot of bales for that thing. And I just remember thinking that. But then as I got in high school and graduated and stuff, those girls would be like, man, that life don't sound bad. Like these people are wholesome. You're a wholesome person. You're chasing good morals. Like, we want to be with somebody like that. And I think in our world today, people are seeing, like, Yellowstone was a big movement. I think first off, everybody thought that was so cool, and that lifestyle was so cool. But also, I just think, man, the slow life is pretty amazing.
Correct.
And when you're riding in that tractor, it might feel like you're going slow, but I live in Nashville and I miss it. And I just think there's something to people that sounds peaceful. That sounds peaceful, and it is. As much as there's so much stress on farms and things, you don't know what God is going to give you that year. But I think there's that moment of, man, there's peace out there when you see a skyscraper and concrete, but when you get out in God's country of like space and just seeing nature, I think there's something it hits me in my soul a little different when I'm looking at that view. And then when I'm in city, like that's wow too, but it's just a different hustle, you know?
Dude, you're spot on. Goody, man, I could sit here and talk to this guy for an hour, man. I mean,
yeah, man. The two of you
Sorry.
guys, I knew we were going to be close friends.
thank you,
Yeah.
Goody.
Yeah.
Dude, seriously, thank you for coming on the show. I mean, everything that you've said really means a lot. It hits home to me, but I know it's going to hit home to our viewers. Like, what you're doing in country music is unbelievable, and it's authentic.
Oh man, well thank you.
And it's
for
really
saying
cool
that.
to
That
see.
means a lot, dude.
So anything we can do to
Dude,
help.
thanks for having me. Thanks
Dude,
for the boots and the knife.
This has been awesome. Yeah.
Y'all hooking me up with everything right
Yeah,
here.
Drew, next year he's like, hey, does Pat have an open spot? Man, I need some
Yeah,
more
I need
boots.
some more
I need
boots,
some
man.
knives.
I need
Yeah.
more
What sponsors
stuff.
does Pat have right now? Can we get some free stuff?
Hey, but when we do stuff, we should, you know, when we put out Farm Faith and Family, the record and stuff,
Yes.
we should tie all this stuff in.
But seriously, I appreciate you coming on the show. Anything that we can do, we can help. And I look forward to these projects coming up. I really
Man,
do.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate y'all having me, and just, it's been fun to sit down and talk and interview with somebody that gets my lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times and there's nothing wrong, like you talk to people that just don't get how you grew up or how you live.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain that, you know, so I appreciate you just being down home country boy with me. So thanks, man.
I appreciate it, man. And I
Yeah.
appreciate y'all tuning in as always every single Wednesday. Catch us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. Do whatever you got to do to be like a farmer.